little summary on everything that's happened for the Leafs. So Nick Alberga, good summary. So thinks the deal with Tanev will get done in relative short order from Cervelli. I'm thinking if it's the $5 million per year, hopefully it's not the 6-year term. We'll see. Bertuzzi's leaving. That was reported from Darren Dreger, retweeted by LeBrun, Johnson, Cervelli now confirming that Bertuzzi is going to a Western Conference team most likely. I thought maybe a team like Detroit could make a play to get him back, but it seems like a Western Conference team. I could name a bunch of candidates. You can go from Nashville, St. Louis, Vancouver. There's probably a lot of options out there. LA. But yeah, definitely interesting. The Patrick Kane, obviously. But Tyler Bertuzzi, see this shouting it out. Then I wonder New Jersey as a fit. But again, if it's a Western Conference team for sure, then obviously not. And then the Nick Robertson news, guys, was also pretty shocking. So Nick Robertson, article here, potentially played his last. And I tweeted this earlier. Very likely one of these guys will not be a Leaf next season. I hope it's not the case. Neither of them. So this was the official report from Chris Johnson on Nick Robertson, retweeted by a lot of people, confirmed. Sources say that RFA Nick Robertson has no plans to re-sign with the Leafs this summer and has informed the team that he would like to be traded. Again, a lot of the reasoning on that is from him being tossed up and down from NHL team to AHL team. He didn't require waivers, so that was probably annoying. Obviously, he hasn't had the best injury luck with Toronto. And, of course, just the line shuffling with Sheldon Keefe, right? Like, Nick Robertson would find himself in the fourth line. Then he'd find himself in the press box. Nick Robertson scores a goal. Then you scratch him. Then he scores again. Then you scratch him. Then he scores again. Then you scratch him. Like, I think Nick Robertson was, like, getting to the point where it's like, I'm actually contributing. I'm actually scoring. Just put me on with one good line mate, whether it was Matthews, whether it was Domi, whether it was Matthew Nyes. Like, when he had the consistency, he scored and he made a difference. He's only 22 years old, guys. And the fact that people are just, people hate on the guy because he's undersized. But at the end of the day, 22 years old, you could probably get him at like $1.5 million this offseason. And that's exactly what you need for a team that's cap strapped. And Nick Robertson was averaging like stupid low ice time numbers, like averaging like 11, 12, 13 minutes a night. And he still scored 14 goals in like 60-something games. Like, with a little bit more ice time, playing an 82-game season, that's a 20-plus goal scorer right there. And he's only 22. So this one is really frustrating. I had that conversation, and I had it in my head that goes, you're probably not keeping both Bertuzzi or Robertson because you need to give one of those guys legit minutes. And if Bertuzzi's there, Robertson's not getting it. If Robertson's there, maybe Bertuzzi's still getting it, which is kind of my point in what I'm saying. You can't have Robertson and Bertuzzi with the signings. You brought back Domi. You have Marner, Nylander. Like, if you're keeping Marner, then I knew it wasn't possible. So the fact that you're losing both is such a gut punch. And, I mean, it just shows that the culture here, like Mitch Marner taking like $11 million currently, maybe a lot more with his next contract. Like, it's ridiculous. I think Bertuzzi was finally getting used to this team. And I also think Nick Robertson showed for the first time that even with limited ice time, he can score at that rate. And Keefe just wasn't giving that consistent consistent stretch of games. I'd have to look into it, but I just didn't see a stretch of games where Nick Robertson wasn't scratched or sent down once. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, but that's kind of the summary. Leafs looking to overpay on Chris Tanev. Looks really good right now. Not going to be good probably down the line. If Tanev can be at least even 80-90% of what he was for Dallas in the playoffs and Vancouver in recent memory, then you're happy. But then losing Nick Robertson, potentially, he doesn't want to come back, and then losing Tyler Bertuzzi. Classic Leaf fandom experience. You have all the highs of that great hometown discount Domi contract to all the things to follow. What a night to be part of Leaf Nation.